I guess I'm live now. This is a Havdalah Thoughts. These are videos that I put out usually at the Havdalah, which is at the end of the Sabbath. And usually they cover different aspects of Judaism and Christianity and the interaction. So I won't spend too long on that because I've got lots of videos where I just explain what it is I'm doing, so much that it's really probably not necessary by now. But anyways, I guess what's on my mind recently is how to deal with personal tragedy. How does Judaism deal with it? And how does that interaction for a new covenant believer deal with tragedy in one's life? There are a lot of places in both Judaism and Christianity where people tend to identify personal tragedy with sin or a result of failure. I'm sure there are times in which Hashem uses, or another word for God, it's Hashem, the great name, where God uses personal tragedy in order to affect or encourage good behavior, or correct behavior, so on and so forth. However, typically that's not the case, and I think we're warned in Job about giving advice to somebody. You've had this horrible stuff go on in your life to you because you're just a bad person. You know, it's funny because I think that's the way people believe a lot, is that God uses uncomfortable things nearly all the time to punish people or to hurt them. Oh, hello, Isaac. Good to see you. And I don't feel like that's typically the case. I do, however, feel like if there is tragedy that you're going through in your life, and I can confess to you that there's definitely tragedy going on in my life right now. If you're going through personal tragedy, God will use it for his purpose. God's resourceful, and he is always looking for things that he can use to his advantage. He hates waste. And if there's any part of a situation that he can use for his benefit, he will. So it's entirely possible that you're going through something that is not a punishment from God, but God may use it in order to bring light on something in your life that could benefit you or your walk with God. Ultimately, God is altruistic. And what I mean by that is he has your best interests in mind. He has humanity's best interests in mind. And although it would seem like our Creator desires worship for the sole purpose of being worshipped, and it's the giant ego fest of the galaxy here, though that might come across that way, that's not his actual design. His design, both Judaism before Yeshua HaMashiach, before JC, before Jesus, and Judaism presently for the New Covenant believer, is designed so that you can have an individual one-on-one relationship with God. That is the goal before and the goal now. The purpose of the law, there's many purposes of the law, but the greatest purpose of the law is for us to understand that we need order. And by order, we need God. We cannot exist without it. The purpose of Yeshua HaMashiach and the Christ returning is him fulfilling that goal of we need companionship with God. That's the reason why one of the ways that hell is described as eternal separation from God. God created us for companionship, and he created us to want to be his companion. In the end, his goals, even though they may not seem like it at present, his goals are exactly so that you can have what you want. You may think you want a certain thing right now, and this is what is would just, if God would just take away this cancer, if God would just cause this person who is a horrible obstacle in your life to go away, if God would just give you $1 million, then you would be happy and complete. In reality, though, God knows more about what you want than you do. And instead of just simply removing it there, he takes a situation and tries to work through that situation with you to affect a better purpose. So with that being said, I hope that you have a great week. Happy Havdalah, and good Shabbos to those who observe it. And if you observe it on Sunday, I hope that you're able to set aside that day for Hashem. And I look forward to talking to you again next week, B'Zrias Hashem, if God permits. Take care, and I'll see you all later.